My friend is back. She's been gone. I've been calling the BBB trying to find her. I said, it's a scam. She ain't coming back. What's up, Miss Whitney?
Hi, it's so good to be back finally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What we're going to talk about today, but before we talk, give them the website.
Yes.
The phone number.
Yes.
Because I was going to give it because you always forget your phone number. Give them all that good stuff.
So you can find us when we're not on the air here. You can find us at bbb.org, or our main line is 502-583-6546, and that'll connect you with just about any resource that you need from BBB or anyone you're trying to reach at BBB. So again, that's bbb.org, 502-583-6546.
And what are we talking about today?
So I have a couple of things to talk about that are very relevant right now. The first one is tax season is approaching, almost upon us. So I want to talk a little bit about things to watch out for to make sure that you are not scammed as we all get ready to file our taxes. Because it's going to be an area where scammers are looking to take advantage of folks, try to get your personal and financial information, things of that nature. So we'll start there. When filing your taxes, a lot of folks choose to do it themselves, which is great. If you're using an online filing source, just be sure it's a reputable one. Be sure that it's a company that's been around for a while, that is well known and established, so that you can trust them with your tax returns and with your personal and financial information that you're going to have to input as part of filing. So that's step number one. Just if you're not going to say a professional like an H&R Block or what have you, and having them do it for you, that is certainly one option. If you choose not to and do it at home electronically, just make sure that you trust the resource that you're using. And secondly, if you need any information on how to file or any type of documents that you might be missing, it's really best to visit the IRS website itself, irs.gov, as opposed to trying to find information elsewhere, just because it can be an easy opening for scammers to try to lure you into a trap. So if you again need any forms, need any information, irs.gov is the first place you want to go. Also, there are going to be folks out there who, and I don't know that I would call this a scam per se, but let's just say that they might try to do a service for you that, or offer forms that the IRS offers for free, but they're going to charge you for it. So you want to be cautious of those two, which is another reason I recommend irs.gov as the first place to stop if you have any questions. And finally, with the, and some of your listeners may have received calls like this. Maybe you have, Mr. P. Around this time, I think we start to see an increase in folks who receive calls from the quote unquote IRS, telling them that they owe a lot of money, that they're in big trouble, et cetera, et cetera. And I just want to remind listeners, or tell you for the first time, if you're not aware, the IRS does not call folks to discuss any type of tax bill or anything regarding taxes. They really only communicate with individuals by mail. So if you receive a scary sounding call telling you that you have a large tax bill hanging over you, hang up, ignore. You are not going to jail, at least not for that. And it's not the IRS. It's a common scam, and it's one that we see an uptick in around this time of year. And similarly, if you get any calls as we get closer to the filing deadline regarding your tax return, anything tied to that, just be very wary, be very cautious, and again, just know that the IRS entity does not call individuals, whether it's regarding a bill or a return. They do not call. Now, of course, if you have questions, you can call them for sure. Again, you can find all of their actual numbers at irs.gov, but they are not going to reach out to you if there's a problem by phone. They're going to reach out to you by mail. So just ignore any call that says that you've got a large bill and you can take care of it right here over the phone with a gift card. So be wary of that. And then next up, something that I think no one's been able to escape in the news right now is, of course, what's happening in Ukraine, the Russian invasion in Ukraine. And the reason I want to touch on this is because I think during times of any, international emergency or crisis, I think we are all good people at heart. Most of us are, and we want to maybe donate if we see folks in need. I know a lot of folks maybe are looking to donate to Ukrainians during this difficult time. So I'm here with just some tips on how you can do so safely and know that your money is going to where you want it to go. And this applies not only to if you're donating to Ukraine relief, but really any international or national cause, emergency, what have you. There are ways to donate safely so that you can trust that your hard-earned money is going towards the cause that you want to support. So just a few things to keep in mind. If you're donating to a charity, do a little bit of research on that charity. Make sure you know where the money is going. If they are vague about it, if they're not really clear on exactly where their funds are going, you want to be wary of that. Just any organization that's not upfront about where donations are going, you want to be cautious of that. Also, be cautious of any charitable organizations that are brand new. Does not mean that they are automatically bad or a scam. But even when new groups have only the best intentions, it can be challenging, especially during a crisis, to distribute help because they don't have the experience and connections that more well-established groups have. So just something to bear in mind. And with this situation in particular, with Ukraine, consider donating to U.S.-based charities that have relief efforts in Ukraine, because charities based in the U.S. can be checked, by us, by other reputable organizations before donating, and you can also claim that charitable donation as a deduction for tax income purposes. Another reason to choose a U.S.-based charity that is providing relief overseas. Just as an FYI, donating to support funding of weapons or other military help, that's not going to be tax deductible. Just a tip out there if you want to keep that in mind. And then also donations of any items, while very well-meaning, and I love the intention behind them. Just be aware that those items can be very difficult to transport to another country, especially in the middle of a war or a crisis. So, we certainly love to see the donation drives, people collecting items. You're going to want to be a little hesitant there, or ask questions about exactly how are those items going to be getting to Ukraine or to wherever you are hoping that they are sent. And really, during these times, it is best to donate money because there are established organizations, established charities out there who have the resources, have the connections to get help where it is needed most. And what they need right now is money and not necessarily items that they then have to figure out how to ship or transport. But when it comes to donating money, again, you're going to want to look for organizations you can trust, and be cautious about crowdfunding sites, the GoFundMe type sites you see on Facebook and elsewhere, not because they're all bad. Again, this is not a blanket statement, but just because not all crowdfunding sites have the same rules, have the same regulations, and anybody can create a GoFundMe campaign or a crowdfunding campaign. Doesn't mean that they are a legitimate person in need, or that they are going to then send that money to someone in need. Again, not everyone behind a GoFundMe is a scammer. Not every campaign you see like that is a scam, but you just want to be cautious because it is something that is so easily accessible to anyone to create. You want to be sure you know their intentions, and anyone can pull photos from a Google search and claim that they are helping this specific person in Ukraine, or that this is my family member in Ukraine. Just do a little bit of research before giving to a crowdfunding site, if that is the way you want to go with a donation. But if you're not sure where to donate, BBB actually has an arm where we accredit charities, and we review charities just the same way we review businesses. So if you visit give.org, GIV, WLOU.org. That is actually our site where you can search for charities and you can see how they're reviewed, how they stack up according to our standards before you give. And you can just rest assured a little bit easier that that your money is going to where you want it to go, whether it's for Ukraine relief, whether it's for causes here at home, whatever the case may be. I love how big people's hearts are during difficult times, and I want to make sure that that something that a gift that they are giving so generously is going to be used the way that they want it to be used.
Absolutely. Whitney, glad to have you back. I know I always got a question there.
I love it. Yeah. I want to see what you can come up with every time I see you.
Absolutely. I got a friend, and she got her Facebook page got hacked.
Oh no!
And majorly hacked, where they charged stuff to her card. You know how you buy ads? Mm-hmm, they charged to her card. Well, and what they was charging was something against Facebook rule. Okay. Well, they closed her page. Facebook did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then she's working to try to get her page back open, and Facebook is, doing what Facebook do, take their time.
Yes.
Well, then as she reached out to ask people on Instagram how to get her Facebook page back up. Well, all these people have reached out to her and said, I can do it. But, they saying that you got to pay me through the Bitcoin. Is that something that scams go through? Okay.
Yeah. Anyone who claims that they can do a service like that for money, for Bitcoin investment, I would strongly advise your friend. I know it's incredibly frustrating to be in that situation where not only have you been hacked, but you've lost access to your account. And if it's, a situation like a lot of us use Facebook for business these days.
Right, exactly.
So it's incredibly frustrating to lose that too. But I would advise her, don't give anyone money who claims that they can reinstall your account for you. They are not going to be able to bypass Facebook's regulation system any quicker than she can. And likely they're just going to take her money and she'll never hear from them again. And then she'll, it's like you've been doubly hacked. You've got the scammer who hacked her Facebook account and unfortunately ran charges that way. And then you've got these folks who are trying to scam you because you're in a situation where you need help. And I think a lot of them probably know, like you said, Facebook, larger companies can be slow sometimes to respond. And they know that, these scammers know that. And so they're going to try to give you a quick solution that's not really, it's a solution for them. They get your money.
Yeah, they get your money.
But yeah, I would advise her to wait, see if she can get a response from Facebook. Hopefully she doesn't have to start from scratch. But better that than to lose more money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last question here.
Yeah.
Now, those calls that you get that I count them as a spam scam.
Yeah.
All of the above.
Yes.
And you answer, they ask you to, is this, can you hear me okay? And then you say yes. And then if you say yes and you really figured out that it was a spam call, do you get to write that number down and call BBB, or what do you do?
Yeah, you're going to want to if you realize that you've fallen prey to that, and it's something that's so easy to do because they catch you off guard. You think you're just answering a call, and can you hear me? Yeah. And then you realize too late that they've got you. What it is, if you're a listener who's not familiar with this scam, is they're trying to get you to say the word yes because they are recording the call, and they can then use your voice saying yes against you, to make it look like you've agreed to things that you haven't, basically, because they've got this recording of you, Mr. P, saying yes. And they can use that against you. If you realize too late, or if you suspect that you may have fallen the victim of that, yes, you can report it to bbb.org. You're gonna want to take some steps as well to protect yourself against any possible financial fraud. So you're going to want to go ahead and change all of your passwords and login information. Contact your bank, your credit card companies. Say that you're worried you might possibly be the victim of a fraud, or of basically someone might be trying to access your financial information, and they can either freeze your accounts, put a hold, or they can issue you a new card. These are just, and I know it sounds like a lot, over one word, over the word yes. And it's a very, yes, it's annoying and frustrating to have to do all this. But it's probably best to be overly cautious in this case, because you don't know what the intents are of the person, the scammer alleged scammer on the other end of the call. You don't know what they're trying to get from you. So best to just protect your identity and your financial information as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Be proactive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whitney, you're a star. You're a star, Whitney. Give us the website and phone number information before we get up out of here.
Yeah. So bbb.org is the place to go if you want to report a scam, if you need more information on scams, or if you want to either review or file a complaint against a company. It's also the place to go if you are a business owner interested in learning more about accreditation, bbb.org. And then you can also reach us at 502-583-6546 for any of the above purposes, or if you just have a question that you think we can help you with. That's why we're here.
Absolutely. Well, call that number and ask for Whitney.